You're watching News Channel 5 on your side.
A final salute to a father, brother, and husband, an officer who gave his life serving the community he loved.
Because we knew that it was his calling from God to serve and protect others.
The tragic death that tore apart a family brings the city together.
There's something about that flag when it goes up, it's emotional.
Strangers paint the town blue from West County to the Metro East.
A final special ride and a pledge from fellow officers to never forget.
I will be your arms holding up Elizabeth. And I will be your hands blessing and guiding your son.
Today we salute Blake not as the best, but as the best of the best.
A heart-wrenching day for family and friends of Officer Blake Snyder brought out the best in St. Louis. The St. Louis County police officer was laid to rest a week after being shot and killed in the line of duty. Thousands of people lined the route from the church to the cemetery, and some traveled thousands of miles just to salute him. The funeral procession wound from West St. Louis County across the river to Godfrey, Illinois.
That's where Officer Blake Snyder's watch ended. News Channel 5's Jacob Long joins us live from Valhalla Memorial Park Cemetery. Jacob.
Well, Mike and Kay, the burial service has been over for hours, and yet we continue tonight to see a couple of people drive through here to pay their final respects at the final resting place of Officer Blake Snyder, a beloved man who returned to his hometown of Godfrey today one last time.
I really think each and every one of them should have a funeral like this, you know, that everybody remembers, each and every one of them.
Even though he was not living here at this time, just the fact that he once was a resident here, we still embrace him as one of our own.
We thank you for his life on this earth, and we thank you for his impact to all of us.
To see our police officers shot and mistreated, it just hurts.
It really touched me because I do have a daughter that is the same age with a family.
Father, we thank you. We thank you for his life. We thank you for what he has brought to us today.
Attention all units. St. Louis County is announcing the final roll call for St. Louis County Police Officer Blake Snyder, PSN 4153. The men and women of St. Louis County Police Department are forever grateful and proud to have served with Police Officer Blake Snyder and will never forget his ultimate sacrifice. Police Officer Snyder, may you rest in peace and protect us from above.
And after that service today, the family was expected to gather at a local restaurant where they invited everyone in attendance. We're talking more than 1,000 people to come together and continue cherishing not only the service, but also the sacrifice of Officer Snyder. We're live in Godfrey. Jacob Long, News Channel 5 on your side.
Before the burial, a moving tribute to Officer Snyder. An overflow crowd of thousands came to pay last respects at the St. Louis Family Church in Chesterfield. He was a husband, a father, a brother, and a son. And on Thursday, in this small corner of the Show Me State, police from all corners came to show their respect to fallen St. Louis County officer Blake Snyder.
The world is a fallen and difficult place, hence the need for law enforcement.
He was the best our community had to offer, and made a decision born out of character and integrity to put others first.
And you're shattered like you've never been before.
For an overflow crowd at the family church in Chesterfield, there was music, memories, and a mood of forgiveness.
If hate breeds hate, then surely love can breed love.
We were reminded on this day that Blake Snyder became a police officer at age 28 as a way to give back. And in this time of grief, we need to lean on and give back to each other.
On the morning of October 6th, our perfect world was taken from us. And while we mourn the loss of such a great young man, we couldn't be more proud.
Blake, while I wept over you in the hospital room, I was struck with the sensation of unbearable loss, accompanied by unbelievable pride.
A fitting salute to a man who lost his life serving the community he loved.
It was a long journey to Officer Snyder's final resting spot in Godfrey, Illinois. A funeral procession traveled nearly 50 miles to the cemetery as thousands of people lined the route in support. News Channel 5's Jennifer Meckles reports from the McKelvey overpass over Interstate 270, where people stood for hours waiting to watch.
There was a time today when a big part of St. Louis stopped what they were doing and came to line the roadside in order to pay their respects along that route. Many of them came here.
We came out to show our support for the procession of Officer Snyder. This was just the least we could do to show our support.
There's something about that flag when it goes up, it's emotional. Officers should feel the freedom to come to our aid and not worry about getting shot.
Thank you for your service. Thank you. We have friends in law enforcement, and you know, my cousin was a state highway patrolman, so I've always felt like connected. Yeah, I feel for the family.
That's really awesome to see people just take their time to do something just as simple as that, just to show a message of support. You know, it doesn't take a lot, but it's going to mean a lot to these guys.
Thank you, police officers, for protecting us. Rest in peace, Officer Snyder.
If you drove along the interstate today, chances are you saw some of these displays on the overpasses. They're still here tonight. Blue bunting, white cups with messages, and American flags in the fence post. Just a sign of the community support that came out today. Reporting from the McKelvey overpass over I-270, Jennifer Meckles, News Channel 5, on your side.
The community has relied on each other, but also the support of total strangers. Perhaps no group is hit harder than law enforcement. Dozens, if not hundreds of officers from all over the country attended today's service. Those who couldn't fit inside stood for hours in the parking lot outside just to pay their respects. That included a group called the Brotherhood of the Fallen, who traveled from Chicago.
It's a show of support for the family and the officers. We know they're not only are the officers going through a lot, the family is going through an extreme, it's a crisis. And we're here just to show support, just to let them know that they're not alone.
This is an especially trying time for the group. Right now, they also have officers in Palm Springs and Los Angeles.
Firefighters from Godfrey, Edwardsville, and Wood River teamed up for the flag detail, raising a massive flag at Valhalla Cemetery, where Officer Snyder was laid to rest. News Channel 5's Art Holliday reports from Godfrey.
All you have to do is drive around town and see the message boards. I have no question that the community knows the importance of this and how first responders are supported in this area. The procession for Officer Snyder will be arriving in Godfrey anywhere between 1 p.m. and 2:30. But Godfrey is ready to accept Officer Snyder back to his hometown and honor him and show his family what Godfrey's all about. You know, Wood River can stand by your truck. Edwardsville will be by your truck.
I couldn't tell you how many times we've done it, probably a dozen or so. We do it for parades, we do it for funeral ceremonies, we do it for special events. So we've got it actually down to almost a science, getting it up there. The biggest flag that we have to display, you know, the best honor that we can bestow upon either a ceremony or a fallen firefighter or a fallen officer.
Present! Ho!
we do this for the families, and I hope that they see when they come in here that they have the support of everybody in the community. I know they're going to see it coming down the road with the people lining the streets.
A memory that hopefully we won't have to go through again, but it's going to make an impact on all of us.
One of the most memorable moments of the day was a poem read by Officer Snyder's brother-in-law.
Justin Sparks is also a police officer. He wrote the poem not knowing he would one day share it at his brother-in-law's funeral. It's called The Blue Hymn for the Fallen.
For his fellow man he fought, and for his fellow man he's fallen. Joyful hearts in chorus answer, for this was his calling. Led by courage through, honor and bravery shown. In heaven he'll now serve, for heaven's called him home. We brothers blue remain, hearts of pride now shown. We send our faithful friend to his eternal home. No more sadness, pain, or guile. No more night watch all the while. Rest now, hero true. Lord, take him home with you. Now death, where is thy sting? The humble servant sleeps. Now heaven bound on angel's wing. Now heaven bound to serve our King.
This is the final radio call for Officer Blake C. Snyder, DSN 4153. Officer Blake Snyder is 10:42 on Thursday, October 13th, 2016 at 3:19 p.m.
Remembering Officer Blake Snyder laid to rest today. Tonight, St. Louis County Police Headquarters is shining blue and draped with black bunting. You can see more images and tributes from today's funeral service and procession at ksdk.com. As St. Louis mourns, 2 Boston police officers are fighting for their lives. A call for a disturbance turned into a police ambush. Police say a man armed with a tactical shotgun shot 2 officers late Wednesday. They remain in critical condition tonight. Other officers shot and killed the gunman, 33-year-old Kirk Figueroa. Investigators say the gunman was wearing body armor, although they don't know why he attacked police. 9 other officers were treated for trauma, stress, and minor injuries.
New at 10, a union man is under arrest tonight for allegedly impersonating a federal agent. Police say 28-year-old Timothy Rosselli purchased a counterfeit squad car in uniform. Then for months, they say he pretended to be a deputy United States Marshal under the fake name Austin Gardner. Police say Rosselli was living in union with his girlfriend, who also believed he was a federal agent. That's until she learned he bought several vehicles and opened up at least 3 credit cards in her name, putting her $20,000 in debt. Union police say this is not a rare case.
None to this degree, not with the number of ID cards and badges and equipment that he had, as far as to go to purchase a police style vehicle with lights and siren and things of that nature. So to this extent, no, we have not seen it around here.
Police say Rosselli tricked a second girlfriend from Florida into buying him 2 sports cars, including a Lamborghini. And police believe he may have fooled others. The U.S. Marshal's Office is asking anyone with information about Rosselli to call them.
St. Louis aldermen are expected to hear a resolution tomorrow that would seek Police Chief Sam Dotson's resignation as he runs for mayor. Dotson has already announced his plans to run, but has yet to file the paperwork. Alderman Joe Rohde drafted the resolution. He says the police chief should be insulated from politics. Rohde says the resolution is merely a request. Chief Dotson says he has no comment at this time.
Damage control for Donald Trump's campaign. Today, the Republican nominee called reports that he groped, fondled, and kissed women fiction.
These vicious claims about me of inappropriate conduct with women are totally and absolutely false.
The New York Times broke the accusations. Jessica Leeds says Trump put his hand up her skirt decades ago on a plane. A People magazine reporter says Trump grabbed and kissed her in 2005. Donald Trump is demanding a retraction and threatened to sue the Times. Meanwhile, First Lady Michelle Obama, stumping for Clinton on the campaign trail, went after Trump.
Democrat, Republican, Independent, no woman deserves to be treated this way, not for another minute, and let alone for 4 years.
The Clinton campaign has had its own troubles this week. New WikiLeaks emails released today show Clinton's campaign chairman referred to Latinos as needy. Clinton's campaign is not confirming the authenticity of the emails. They maintain the Russians are behind the hack to help Donald Trump.
5 on your side, consumer alert about the potential dangers of the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. NBC News went inside a battery testing lab in Chicago. Researchers deliberately overcharged a phone to see what happens. As the heat and pressure built, the battery puffed and exploded. Researchers say this is a rare occurrence, but it's an important reminder to turn off that phone and replace it.
They can just follow the instructions that the manufacturer gives them. Use the proper charger with that battery, but also charge it in an open area where you've got some ventilation, because heat is generated when you're charging a battery.
Because of fire risks with faulty batteries, the Postal Service, FedEx, and UPS are now refusing to ship smartphone returns by air. A major project for Boeing that will bring hundreds of jobs to the St. Louis area. Today, the company cut the ribbon on a new commercial aircraft facility in North County. Workers will be building parts for the new Boeing 777X. It's the first commercial airline production for Boeing in Missouri. The $300 million investment is expected to create 700 jobs when full production begins next year.
History made in Sweden. The Nobel Prize for Literature didn't go to an author, but one of America's most iconic musicians.
The answer is blowing in the wind.
Bob Dylan is the first musician and songwriter to ever receive the honor. The 75-year-old has blended many styles from gospel, folk, blues, and country to craft some of America's most iconic sounds. Dylan is the first American since Toni Morrison in 1993 to win the award.
For having created new poetic expressions within the great American song tradition.
The Nobel Prize adds to Dylan's impressive resume. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and is a Grammy, Academy, and Golden Globe winner. And in 2012, he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Well, you know where the answer is, guys. It's blowing in the wind, and the winds are going to be coming around to the south, which means warmer weather coming up as we get into the weekend. And we're talking about a big warm-up. Tomorrow, we're going to start to transition a little warmer. Today's highs only in the lower 60s, and we had some areas stuck in the upper 50s. So it was a cooler day today. Tomorrow, close to normal, right at 70, and then into the weekend with those south winds, the big warm up coming. Now, if you were able to watch us tonight at 4, 5, or 6, we were talking about maybe a little bit of wet weather starting to develop across Kansas and pushing up from Oklahoma and maybe across the southern part of Missouri through the overnight and into tomorrow. All of that is occurring. We're starting to see some of those showers out there in southeast Kansas. So clouds are increasing. The forecast is working out. And what we're going to find through the overnight, this light, very light wind basically blowing in from the east and the northeast. But look at what happens through the overnight and into tomorrow. We start to see a few showers showing up down to the south. While most of the metro area will enjoy partly sunny skies tomorrow, shouldn't be bad at all. Temperatures by noon right around 65 degrees or so in St. Louis. You can see 64 at Sparta and St. Charles. Showers down to the south if you're going to be out there towards Fort Leonard Wood or around the Rolla area, maybe down towards Perryville. You may want to keep an umbrella with you as a few of these showers will be possible. Now into the evening tomorrow, we're going to find the skies again variably cloudy, slight chance of a shower farther to the south, and I think really tomorrow evening should be a good one across the area. Heading into the weekend, this is where you see that south wind blowing up, and we are going to find the temperatures really responding to that. Close to 80 for a high on Saturday. Sunday's highs in the mid 80s, and we're going to be pushing upper 80s, which could possibly reach our record high 88 on Monday. So we're going to watch for that. Temperatures right now cooling into the 40s, so it is another cool night across the area despite the cloud cover out there. Our overnight low temperatures are going to dip into the lower to mid 40s across much of the area. Right now 52. That's at Lambert where the winds are calm. The pressure's holding steady. Again, that overnight low close to 46 at the airport, but the outlying areas will be cooler. It is going to be warmer tomorrow, a little bit warmer at 70. There's that chance for a few showers down to the south that I just showed you. And then tomorrow night, 59. Look for a high really starting to get up there on Saturday. 80 as we look at the rest of the 7-day forecast. Those temperatures in the mid-80s here on Sunday, upper 80s on Monday. And looking ahead to next week, eventually the temperatures do drop back down. Low to mid-70s on Wednesday and upper 60s Thursday. Quite a ride, though. This up and down and up and down.
Crazy. We're going back to summer this weekend.
Yeah, get out the shorts.
Thanks, Craig. Well, the Blues play their home opener tonight.
Frank Cusimano's live at Scottrade.
Okay, coming up in sports, we are going to hear from a goaltender in a groove. Stick around.
The News Channel 5 Sports Desk is sponsored by Royal Gate Automotive Group.
The Blues have come out of the gates fast and hard. After taking 33 shots last night at Chicago, they outshot the Wild tonight 31-21 and improved to 2-0. It's the 50th anniversary season for the Blues. They honor some of the alums before the puck drop. The new kid on the team can fire a puck. Nel Yakupov let one fly in the second, and it was simply too hot to handle. Blues up 2-1. The kid can also pass the puck. Check out his assist to Magnus Pajärvi. This goal put the Blues up by 2. They won it 3-2. Frank Cusimano's at Scott Trade Center with the post-game reaction. Frank?
Reddy, thanks very much. A lot of skeptics on the Blues heading into this season because they lost 3 great players in the offseason. Well, they've controlled 2 games back-to-back, and they have a goaltender who stopped 3 breakaways tonight, and Jake Allen knows how important divisional wins are.
I know it's only 2 games, and you can't take a whole lot out of it, but it's a great start for our group. And like I said last night, you know, I feel like everyone's getting better every single day, and tonight was even an improvement on last night. And I think that's just the way we've progressed since training camp. I think probably the tightest division in hockey, and every game, every point, even you get to overtime, and matters for us right now. And to be able to start against 2 divisional opponents, 2 wins is huge.
And it looks like that big contract they gave Jake Allen in the offseason is going to be money well spent. With photographer-editor Tony Chambers, Frank Cusimano, News Channel 5 Sports.
Thank you, Frank. The Cubs should be rested for the National League Championship Series. They clinched a spot back on Tuesday. The Dodgers and Nationals are playing tonight for the chance to play Chicago. The Dodgers got something going in the 7th. They scored 4 in the inning. Carlos Ruiz knocked one to left, and Austin Barnes came home. Right now in the 7th, the Dodgers are up 4-3. The winner will travel to Chicago to play Game 1 of the NLCS on Saturday. Hey, congrats to the fans at Civic Memorial. You won the home field advantage this week. We'll be live there tomorrow at 5 and 6 for your game against Triad. They were zooming at Gateway Motorsports Park today. The Indy cars were out testing tires. They will race here in August of next year. The speed of the cars and the skills of the drivers should make for a close finish.
You know, we won by 8 thousandths of a second, and I don't know how many passes, but we were going, you know, well over 200 miles an hour during this race. And you know, you watch the race and all you want to think is that's just insanity. But in the moment, it's just like hockey or football or baseball, whatever sport you want. As an athlete in that sport, the thrill of being in that battle makes it awesome.
You know, Kay Quinn knows what it's like. She does that every night leaving here. That's it for sports tonight. We'll be right back.
Now that the funeral is over, healing for the family of fallen St. Louis County Police Officer Blake Snyder is just beginning.
When a horrible tragedy like this rips a family apart, St. Louis steps up to show we care. There are ways you can help. We have all of that information for you on KSDK.com.
For now, we leave you with a final tribute to Officer Snyder.